Good morning, gamers. What's going on, guys? This is Jaded from MMOing. Just started another live stream. It's the 18th of January, 2020. I am waking up. As usual, I'm going to be having my coffee and my cigarette to get my brain functioning for the day. That's delicious. So, last night, I had an awesome time in VR chat with a couple new friends and some old ones. Lion Cake Gaming, LYINCAKEGAMING, as in gaming. He's on Twitch. Check him out. I just followed him today. I'm gonna be watching his videos because he seems like a really cool guy. And me and Dragon got to do some fun stuff in VR chat last night. So basically, I decided I'm going to do these morning videos. It's Good Morning Gamers. It's kind of a show, not really. It's more of me just trying to get my brain around the day because it takes me a little while to wake up. I'm going to cut these down to about 10 minutes a piece. My primary goal here is to get a chance to actually focus on some conversation with my viewers, because what happens when I'm gaming, last night was a perfect example of this, is they were waiting like 2 hours for me to actually get in the game and start playing with my friends because I had other things I was trying to do on the stream that I don't really need to be doing, but I'm always behind in some fashion. So, took me like 50 tries, but I got it lit. Don't smoke, it's horrible. So basically, this is a morning thing I'm doing from now on to try and see if I can get about 3 followers a day. If I get 3 followers a day, I'll have 1,000 followers by the end of 2020, which is my primary goal this year. And then also my 100 sub goal. My normal gaming streams are Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights, 11:30 p.m. PDT. If you're watching this video because you're like, who's this crazy ginger dude that is like trying to wake up in the morning on the Good Morning Gamers show, I'm JPlay / Jaded / J. I've been streaming about 3 years, and this year I'm going to try and take my channel to a new level by doing a lot more IRL streaming, a lot more conventions and gaming tournaments and IRL events, actual events I'm going to be going to and streaming live. So hopefully that's going to pick up the channel and you guys can come hang out and we can do some cool stuff together. So, basically, VR chat was awesome. I'm kind of disappointed. I was looking for some specific things in VR chat that I thought they'd have because, like, the Steam VR. So let's start off here. I got an Oculus Rift S for my kids for Christmas, and I tried that out. Obviously, is I had a lot of crazy fun in the just the basic VR introductory stuff that comes with the Oculus, and I realized I had about 10 games that were VR compatible. One of which is Subnautica, which I'm sad to say I can't play. I love Subnautica. One of my favorite games in the world, but I can't seem... I think you have to buy a separate version to play in VR. I'm going to look into that further because if I can play it, the version I have, that'd be awesome. But I think the version I have is only for regular PC. I think you need to buy a separate version. Like Skyrim, which you also do need to buy a separate version, which I did right away. Because Skyrim is one of the most amazing games I've ever played. I've put over 1,000 hours into that game and I've never beat it because I always tend to mod the shit out of it till it breaks. I lose my save and I start over again. I've done that 30 times and put over 1,000 hours in on Steam. And I was like, this time in VR, I really believe that I might actually be able to beat this game legitimately all the way through. Because it's amazing. I've never experienced anything quite like Skyrim VR. It's awesome. For those of you who have never used a VR set, it's crazy. Because when you're watching my streams, you see what I'm seeing in the VR window, but it is nothing compared to what I'm actually experiencing. And the reason is the three-dimensionality and the depth that you can see when you're in VR, it's a lot different than what you're seeing on the flat screen normally. For instance, in VR, I'm starting to realize the scale and size of creatures in Skyrim, which is insane. When the first time you fight a troll in VR, or let's say the first time you fight a giant in VR, I was like, okay, pull out my arrow, I notch it back in my bow, I took a shot at this motherfucker, I hit him about 30, 40 meters away. He starts running at me. I'm like, all right. So I pull out my swords, and I'm waiting for him to get there. And as he's getting closer, it's like bigger and bigger until I'm looking straight up at this dude with a big-ass fucking hammer coming down. I'm like, whoa! And I fucking ran into a wall behind me, literally. Turned around and ran into a wall. So that's how realistically cool it is. You do not see that when you play Skyrim. You don't realize the scale of things. A dragon's head is as tall as your character. And I've never really noticed that until I did in VR. So I thought it was a really cool experience. But so I got into VR chat last night with Lion Cake Gaming and Dragon Slayer, one of my other viewers, and we had a really good time. We played some mini golf, which I was disappointed in the golf system because the golf game that I found in VR chat is not as awesome as the golf game that's in Steam VR, which is its own thing. See, Oculus has its own VR home where you have a house, you can decorate it, you can play games and go and meet with other people on Steam. Then Steam VR has its own home that you can decorate and do stuff, and you can go to different environments through there. And now VR chat's like a third one on top of that that you go into, and you can go to different environments and hang out with your friends. Now, the thing about VR chat was there was a lot more people socializing in the VR chat game than there was in the Steam VR that I've been able to find, or at least a lot of people don't use the voice system in the VR Steam version, and the Oculus Rift version only lets people with Oculus play it. So anyone who has not like a Vive or any of the other VR headsets, they can't actually. I don't think they can actually cross-play because it's an Oculus thing specifically. I think I could be wrong. So, but I was disappointed in the golf in VR chat because we had a lot of fun playing it. We tried playing frisbee golf too, but I was hoping there'd be like a mini golf course like there is in Steam. But the mini golf in Steam, you can only see your head and hands in Steam, and in this one you can see your entire body, so it's kind of cool in VR chat. VR chat's a separate game through Steam that you can get. It's free to play. But it was really cool because I got invited to a lot of different places and I met a lot of people right away, but in the lobbies there was a lot of people just in there talking and hanging out. And a lot of them were new to VR, which I thought was kind of interesting. This VR chat's been around for years and you can play VR chat without having a VR headset as well. So I thought it was kind of cool. There were so many people like just trying it out for the first time. A lot of people that were veterans were sitting there and taking the time to teach me how to do stuff. I thought that was cool too, because I like the setup and the menu system in VR chat better than I like the menu system in, let's say, Steam VR or Oculus. Why do I call it Oculus? I don't know. But if you're just tuning in right now, this is what I do in the mornings. I'm just smoking my cigarette, drinking my coffee, getting my head on for the day. I'm definitely going to be playing something tonight. I think last night's video was tagged Skyrim VR. I didn't actually play Skyrim VR. I talked to Zeoblader, who just recently landed in Greece. He's from the States here in California, actually. He's actually my neighbor. So he had a cool story about the plane ride and him just landing in Greece and being there for absolutely no reason at all but to go and have an adventure. And I think that's an amazing feat. He's got nothing tying him down here, so he can really go out and enjoy the world, which he's been doing for the last 5 years. So it's really cool to hear his stories. I'll be talking to him on the stream each night to see where he's at and what he's doing, because I find it fascinating that he's out there exploring the world. Everything else, like I said, I'm trying to get 3 followers a day. If I can do 3 followers a day, I'll be able to get my 1,000 goal at the end of 2020, which is what I'm really shooting for. The follower goal is just kind of a personal thing. I want to get it there because I want to look at my channel and be like, yeah, I have 1,000 followers. So it's been 3 years. I haven't done enough to push the channel to the place where I want it to be. This here is not the normal gaming stream. This is my camera on my crappy phone. It's an Alcatel Android device. That's like a $100 phone. So the quality and stuff is not going to be great, but I'm okay with that. Because basically this is the opportunity I have to get some of the viewers that I wouldn't normally get because I don't normally stream during this time. My normal streams are Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights, 11:30 p.m. PDT. So those night streams and the game streams on my PC, they look amazing. They look pretty high professionally, good quality. I'm working on getting the VR. I need to figure out a way to get my sound quality better when I'm doing VR streams because my Yeti mic is in a place where it's kind of positioned a little far away from where I'm standing when I'm in my cage when I'm in VR. And it sounds like I'm distant. I noticed that on the stream. I was watching a little bit of it last night. The one I did last night, I watched it after to see how it sounded. And I did not like the way my voice sounded compared to everyone else who was on their microphones. So I got to figure out how to do that. I don't want to use the Oculus Rift. Why do I call it the Oculus? I do not want to use the Oculus Rift microphone because I think that sounds shittier than my Yeti. But if my Yeti's far away, it sounds shitty too. So I have to kind of figure out how to get a microphone close enough to me that I can sound good on the stream and still be able to move around, because if I put the mic in my face, I can't see. I have the headset on. I'll be walking into it constantly, so I got to figure that out. That's just one issue. The other cool thing about these morning streams is that hopefully what's going to happen. I just started doing these, so I'm not expecting a lot of people to pop in as of now. But a lot of my viewers who I don't want to say I ignore them, but when I'm playing a game, it's a lot harder for me to keep up with chat, especially if I'm into an intense game or I'm especially in VR like Skyrim, where I'm completely engulfed in the world. I'm very immersed. It's difficult for me to keep popping out to talk to people in chat when I'm like listening to a storyline through the game. So it's a little different. This is a place where people can come and talk to me and ask me questions and whatever they want to find out more about me and what I do and why I do this. And it's kind of just a more intimate, personal conversation type place. So I like that. I've had a couple people come in and follow me specifically from the Good Morning stream. It's been a little while since I've done one. That's why. Just getting over kind of a horrible cold. Wednesday, I think, was the last day I did Good Morning Gamers, and I did a stream Wednesday night with Zio Blair before he went to Greece. That was fun. I introduced him to the VR experience, which was the first time he'd used the VR set, and he loved it. And he gets motion sickness really bad, so it was interesting to see if he was going to throw up or not. So I had a trash can with some water in it and some soap just in case. He was okay, though. He actually held out for a while. I'm super surprised that he played Skyrim on the settings that I use, which is the control stick, where you can actually move your character. It's difficult in VR. The first time you do this, I was getting super dizzy. Like, not sick. I didn't feel sick. I never get motion sickness. But when you're moving so rapidly in VR, it feels like your feet, because your brain is still trying to disconnect reality from the virtual reality. That's funny that one of the first things they show you if you buy an Oculus Rift system is there's this little intro thing. There's one called First Contact, and there's one, I can't remember what the other one's called, but the other one's kind of a setup of experiences that it puts you into different areas, and you don't have to do anything with your hands. It just puts you in these environments you can look around and kind of take them in. And the third or fourth one in that set, there's like 5 of them. I think the third one, you're standing on a ledge over like New York City off a balcony, and you're literally on like a little platform, and you can see the cars hundreds of meters down below you. And it's really crazy because your brain automatically makes you want to hold on to something. And you actually feel for a second like that you're actually way up and off the ground, and you're like, oh, and you feel that. And every single person I gave this to and let them experience this actually had that the first time, that sensation of, oh shit. And it's really interesting that it tricks your brain into doing that. It's because of the way we perceive things. We see things through a lens that is kind of built into common sense. Things we know. If we're high off the ground and we fall, we get hurt. Therefore, when we think we're high off the ground, we will feel that. It's a sensation of when you're sleeping and you feel like you're falling and you wake up, or sometimes you don't. But it's all your brain telling you that, hey, you're too high. And not that kind of high, because your brain doesn't really tell you that usually. It just starts doing weird shit. You know. So, that's my rant. Good morning, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get one more cigarette in right now before I end this. See if we can get just 3 more followers. If I can get 3 more followers today, that would be amazing. It'll put me back on track to get 1K by the end of the year. 3 a day is all I'm looking for. I see I got 2 people in here. Are you being shy? That's okay. It's okay. I'll be right there. So one of the things, I'm back to that kid thing where I go to sleep wanting to play a certain game. That certain game that I want to play so bad all the time right now is Skyrim VR. And it's because, like I said, I've put 1,000 hours into Skyrim already. Playing in VR is a whole new experience. And since I've never actually beat the entire game, I'm kind of excited because I think in VR I can do it because I'm so immersed in it that it hasn't gotten boring to me yet. And I think what happens in Skyrim is dungeons get very repetitive. What you're doing gets very repetitive. But it's really neat in VR. I'm walking around in areas that I've explored hundreds of times in the game world. And in VR, it's like I spend a lot more time in these areas, and I find things I never knew were there. One instance was, I don't know if this was a mod because I do have 64 mods installed, but I was in Helgen. I spent 2 hours in the intro scene in Helgen, and I've never done that. I got to a point where I was running through that in less than 2 minutes, the entire cave, because I was just like, oh fuck, I have to start a new character to get back to where I was in the original game, and so I'd run through the beginning without stopping. And I spent 2 hours in VR just wandering around Helgen exploring, and I found 2 treasure chests in Helgen that I did not know existed. One of them was under a floor. In one of the first rooms you jump down through the tower, I found a treasure chest in there that I never knew was there. I don't know if that was an add-on by something I added to the game, but it was awesome that I found that because it was like, I've run through there so many times, I've never seen this. And most of the mods I'm using right now, I did have those mods installed when I played Skyrim. What's going on, Cake? So yeah, this is my Good Morning Gamer thing. I don't know what I'm doing with this yet. I used to do a podcast with Xeoblader where we did the gaming news. And there was a lot of cool things about that. We had really great episodes. I followed you today, by the way, too. Oh yeah, I can see chat. Definitely. That's the whole kind of point of this. The podcast, we did gaming news podcast. And what was, oh, no problem, man. I had a good time with you last night. I'm definitely going to come check out your stuff as soon as you're live. I mean, next time I see you, I hit the bell. You know, I'm going to know when, I'm going to be notified when you go live. This does seem counterproductive, me just standing here talking to this, but I'm literally like waking up for the day, and it takes me a little while, and this is kind of perfect. Oh, yeah. Well, this is kind of my new thing. What's up, noob? What's going on, man? How you been? I've been doing these probably about 2 or 3 weeks now. I feel like you guys saw last night, specifically Lion Cake. You're in there with me for 2 hours before I actually got into a game with you guys. And here I can literally focus on chatting and talking to you. I only do these for about 10 to 20 minutes a morning. I'm trying to do them daily just to give myself a little boost and try and meet some of the people that I wouldn't normally meet on my normal stream times. My morning is usually anywhere between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., but it doesn't matter. When I wake up, I do the Good Morning Gamers thing. But anyway, the podcast, I'm going to tell you about this. So me and Zio did a really, really cool podcast called the MMOrnING Free-to-Play Gaming Podcast. It's still out there. You can still check out all those episodes. It's on iTunes. It's on Google. It's on Spotify, probably. It's all over the internet. You type in MMOrnING podcast, you'll find it. But the cool thing about the podcast, when we first started doing it, the first episode was the first annual Steam Awards. And we did this really cool game where he didn't see the awards and I did. So I had him guess which people won out of the finalists. It was really cool. It had substance. It's rewatchable. People could go back and watch that now and it'd be like, oh, this is cool. Even though it happened 2 years ago. Then we started doing real cool podcasting like the effects of gaming on your brain. We did a sex and gaming podcast. We did a esports special about how esports had jumped from 2016 to 2017, which got huge. I had all these facts and figures and cool stuff out there, and the data was really cool. And they were fun to listen to, and they're actually good to listen to still today. But then we started doing the news. And what happened when we started doing the news was the podcasts were still good, especially because me and my co-host Xeoblader, we're in a place where we're really good together when we talk. We have really deep conversations, and we can bounce off each other really well. And there's always a point that one of us has that the other one doesn't see that way, which is really great for two people hosting a podcast because it gives us endless conversation. So every time I'd see some of the news on a game or something that was happening, I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. This is what I think. And he'd be like, oh, well, I think this. And I'm like, well, yeah. And we'd start counterpointing and pointing and debating whatever's happening, which was really cool. Came out really good. The problem with news podcasts, no one goes back to check the news from 5 days ago. No one's going to go back a week. So we made 37 podcasts, one every Friday for almost 2 years. And most of those are just completely gone. There's no reason for anyone to ever go back and find out what was happening in the gaming news in December of 2017. So they're kind of just lost. There's no replayability. There's no further value to those podcasts. And I feel like I want to find some kind of thing I can do, some kind of let's not call it a routine. Also in the mornings my words don't work. I can't think. Some kind of platform. Let's not say platform. Twitch is a platform. This is more like a what's it called when you have a thing and you have ideas about how you're going to do it, if I could cram in, the best way to do is tech gaming news to accumulate and talk about it all in one day. Well, right. What I did when I was doing the podcast, I was doing show notes for the week because I did it weekly on Fridays. So I'd make sure I knew all the free-to-play games that people could get for free that time. I'd know all the major things that were happening. I tried to get into the company news about gaming companies and who they're laying off and what's happening and what gaming companies are going under and which ones aren't. And I was really up to date at the time with everything that was happening, all the games that were going to come out, all the things that were going on in the gaming industry. I was really up to date. And as soon as I stopped doing the podcast, I don't know anything anymore. Like, I have no idea what's happening this week in gaming. And that kind of is another point. I miss doing the podcast because I was in the know all the time. So when I was on the stream, someone would mention something, I'd go, oh yeah, dude, I just saw this. This is coming out, or that's happening. Or this guy got fired, or whatever. I had all this information. It made me sound a lot more intelligent, I think. But also, I kind of miss knowing what was happening. So that was another reason I enjoyed doing the podcast, but I did do a lot of work because I was weeding out hundreds of articles every week. Literally, I use Feedly, and I'm subscribed to 100 different gaming sites that have really good, reliable gaming news. And every day I'd go through that, mark off some things that I was interested in, put them into some show notes, and then use the show notes to do the podcasts. Yeah, I know Cyberpunk 2077. I didn't know it got delayed till autumn. I knew that people have been talking about that game for 2 years, and there's been a lot of hype around it. But that's the thing, like, I'm sure I did articles on it, I talked about it, but I don't remember anything about any of the news that happened in the last year, and I have no idea what's going on right now. And that's the whole problem with the news setup. I need to find I'm still trying to think of the word. I want to say layout for the show. If it's a show, which I'd like to turn it into some type of substance-based morning activity show. I want this to be something where every morning people look forward to hearing something about what I'm talking about. And I don't know exactly how to do that yet. I haven't figured out the layout of the show. There's a better word. Why can't I think of the word, guys? What's the word when you're trying to build something up? Format. No, I said format. Format. No, I said platform. Format works. We need a format for Good Morning Gamers. Configuration. Kinda, yeah. Well, I'm basically, I need some kind of format I can follow, some kind of plan for this specific show in the mornings. I made this awesome sign, right? Okay, I seriously, it's Sharpie markers and paint, but still, it's something. Structure, there we go. See, that's one of the things with the podcast, because of the show notes I did have a very good structure. We would start off with intro, we'd talk about certain things, I'd throw all the news in there, then we'd do a MMOrnING, which was like what games we missed that are gone now. We had really cool endings of the shows. Then we'd do sponsorship stuff, and we'd talk about specific comments or whatever was happening. We had a layout and a structure. Structure I like, that's a good word. There's no structure for this. This is just me ranting. Literally, my brain is half awake when I start this podcast every morning. It's not a podcast. This whatever this is. But with all that said, this has kind of been working. And I'll give you an example. If you look at my follows right now, I think I'm at 316. At 2020, the beginning of the year, I was at 298, and I had been stuck at 298 for almost 6 months. And as soon as I started doing these morning ones, right, ranting, that's what I'm hoping to get all the people that like to see some crazy-haired ginger just rant. Because I think I could do that. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's like, I'm hopefully entrancing you to like watch me because I'm moving around a lot and I can't stop freaking out about everything. There's comedians that make really good money with that persona. So I'm going to go with it because that's just me. But I would like to have some type of structure, specifically like what are we going to talk about in the mornings. I thought about talking about the previous stream, which I started off with this one about talking about U-Cake and us having a great time in VR chat last night. But that's, I guess, advertising. Who's that? Oh, hey, what's up, kid? It's my boy. I'm live right now.
Oh.
Come on, you come in. Oh, careful my coffee. Careful my coffee. Oh, stay away from the smoke.
Hi.
Stay away from the smoke. This is my big son right here. That's my big boy. He knows I just woke up. Only got a couple people, but They love you. Because you're hardcore baseball. How was your game or your practice?
The fence is 215 feet back, and it landed like legit. It hit the fence
Nice.
and then fell, and I was so mad because that was like my last hit.
Were people tripping now?
Yeah.
Were they like, oh,
and I also got like
hit the
4.
ball.
I got like 5 sliding catches, 2 like really, really, really good catches at second.
Dude, you were tall. Come here with the cleats on. You're almost taller than me.
I think I am.
Oh my god. My 13-year-old has outgrown me. He's better than me at everything now, and now.
Wait, Dad. Huh? Remember the Pokemon thing?
Yeah. Well, we did the Pokemon thing.
So what we're going to do is, I played like almost every single Pokemon game, and I know like every single Pokemon.
It's true.
And my dad only knows the first generation.
Jesus Christ, you're so much taller than me on here.
My dad.
What happened?
My dad only knows the first generation. So what we're going to do is we're going to find this Pokemon generator, and we're going to generate a Pokemon, and he's going to try to guess the name of it.
I'm going to look really dumb because I remember the original 151 because that was my jam.
152.
Well,
including
because
Mewtwo.
of Mewtwo. No, but no. There was 151 Pokemon for a long time. Okay. And I remember Pokemon Yellow and Red and Blue. Those were the games. I had a freaking Game Boy.
Who was your starter?
This was before
Who was
color.
your starter?
My starter?
Yeah.
The first time I played on Yellow, it was Pikachu.
Yeah.
Because that was like...
What about Red, Blue?
Red was Charmander. They were the generics, and Blue was Squirtle.
Oh.
I picked the popular ones. That's who they were at the time. Oh, yeah. Oh, your son just started school new? Oh, that's awesome. So that's really cool. Yeah, my kid just turned into a teenager like in December. And I thought, wow, dude, I'm old. That's how it is. My youngest is 9, and he's 13 now. He's a teenager. Look at you, teenager.
All right, can we do the Pokemon thing?
Not this second, because you know why I'm doing this. What am I doing right now?
Trying to get followers.
Well, I'm trying to get followers. Yeah, that's true. But what am I actually doing here?
Waking up.
Yes, waking up. See, he knows how the drill goes. It takes me about 20 to 30 minutes a day.
The dogs are smelling the dirt on my cleats.
Isn't it amazing how fast they grow? Yeah, waking up at, 1 o'clock in the afternoon? Yeah, hold on. 1 second. I'm live, but what's happening? Ooh. Well, hey, dog.
Get dog. No.
Take your mother's trash because I gotta take the car. Get in. Go. Okay.
Ah!
Bye, Evan.
Here, dude.
Wait, what about my milkshake?
Hey, they're for you. Evan didn't like them.
Okay.
Wait, what about my milkshake?
It's in the house. You mean
This is what it's like at the household here.
I want my milkshake. Give me the milkshake.
It's on the kitchen counter.
Kitchen counter. I'll be in a minute and we'll do the Pokemon thing.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to record it or we'll do it live. We'll probably do it live, but I want to get dressed and wake up a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe we should just have my family come and hang out all the time, right? Because it's way more entertaining. I do feel, definitely. I mean, especially when your kid starts to go to school. See, my oldest son is super brainiac. I love him. He plays baseball. He's been doing sports his whole life. But he's also gets like straight A's in school. He hangs out. This is not. Never mind. No, I'm not gonna say that. He's in Avid, which is the smart kid program that I never made it to, obviously. So it's really cool. He's really intelligent. He loves math. He loves science, which are the two things that he's really good at. So it's really awesome. So when you were 13, you're 24 now. You remember when you were 13? I don't remember when I was 13 because you know how old I am? You guys want to guess how old I am? I think Noob knows, so that's kind of cheating. But you'd be surprised possibly. Because my attitude, yeah, okay, fuck you. Fuck you, Cake. Yes, I'm 38. I'm not going to put myself in the 40 boat yet. I'm 38. I will be 39 in March. So it's been a crazy ride. But it's like one of the things I've noticed specifically in gaming. I've been gaming my whole life. What's crazy is my reflexes and my reaction time has declined. I used to play a lot of first-person shooters. I was all in the Call of Duty for a very, very long time. I played CSGO. I still play CSGO, actually. I played a lot. I did a first-person shooter month 2 years ago, and I felt like I did pretty good. And now when I play, Fortnite, my kid loves Fortnite. I try to play with him there, and I just get wrecked. He wrecks me at every game I play now. So, I feel like it sucks. But it's also awesome because he's doing really good. Like, he's amazing at Fortnite. I mean, he's not like Ninja or anything, but he stacks up against the best. I've seen him take on YouTubers and kick their asses. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, structure for the show. I have a podium here that I built so I could put my coffee on it. It's just a little I'm gonna show you guys. It's literally like a piece of wood strapped to some crates. That's how genius I am. But I do want to figure out a way to turn this into a structural, some kind of specific format for this show. And I keep calling it a show because my intention eventually is to take this and just start turning it into the new podcast. Because I do want to get back into podcasting. Right? How could you go without a podium? And this is the best podium ever. Okay, I should get like some really expensive teleprompters just to put around me, like they're black, they have the reflective. I should just have 2 really expensive teleprompters with this podium. It'll be amazing. But I really do want to get to a point where this is kind of turns into the podcast. So I want to make sure the substance is more direct into a specific format or structure. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with this yet. But it's something. I'm excited. I feel very presidential because I have my hands on the podium, and it's not a podium, but it feels like I'm just looking at the camera and talking to the people, the world, with my sign. It's ridiculously fun. But hey, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm probably going to go ahead and go in a minute because I'm feeling a lot more awake. And I really don't want to smoke a 3rd cigarette. Okay, do you guys think I should harm myself more by smoking another cigarette? Or should I go? I'm going to be honest. As soon as I go, I'm going to smoke another cigarette anyway. So hold on. I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. I'll get one more in here. I'm having a good time. This is fun. I got the people.
Are you still alive?
I am still alive. I'm gonna do another couple minutes, and then I'll hit you up when I'm ready. Okay?
Alright. I'm just jump on the trampoline.
Okay. Are you allowed to play games today?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so let me talk about one more thing real quick before I go then. I got 3 viewers now. What's up? Basically, here, you can't be around me because I'm gonna do that thing I do.
Oh. That big Ting Kool-Aid?
This is not a cool guy thing.
No, the big Ting Kool-Aid?
The big Ting Kool-Aid? Is that a thing?
The big Ting Kool-Aid.
Hey, love. My wife's here
The big
now.
Ting Kool-Aid.
Not happening.
Not happening? Do you guys want to see my wife? They do, of course. You won't. I know. She's not gonna do it. I got my wife to. I've already told Noob this. I think a couple people in here already know this, but I had her on one stream ever. It was a World of Warcraft stream where she played for 24 minutes. It's back in the day. It's still on there somewhere on my my YouTube, but it's fun. It's Kiki Plays Warcraft. You hungry? I'm gonna make food too. What am I doing right now? I keep asking. What's happening? What am I doing?
Making food.
No, what is making food? Oh, make sure that does not fall. Okay, give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna talk to these people. Bring out the wife. Wait, what shirt? This shirt is sick or his shirt? Okay, that's my wife. This is my wife, Kiki. We call her Kiki Kitty. Okay, yeah. I was like, what shirt are you talking about? Oh, look, here's my little guy. Come here, buddy. Let's just all get on the stream. What you got?
Okay.
Here, come say hi.
Can you come with me to my doctor's appointment?
For your foot?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go with you to doctor's appointment. All they're gonna do is
Please?
give you medication.
No, I want you to come anyway.
But I have other things I have
You
to do
never
here.
legit come to my doctor's appointment.
I do not. That's true. First of all, I really don't like doctors. That's a thing. But secondly, I have other things I have to
So?
do today, and I'm trying to get through this really quick so I can start doing those
Well,
things.
I want some.
Don't drink my coffee.
Oh,
You do not. You're drinking a milkshake.
true.
So yeah, this is what's your name? What's your
Little
channel?
Panda 101.
Go and tell him. He's here. Come over here. Get in the podium. There you go.
Portal Panda
He's so
101.
short. You don't even come up to the MMOrnING sign.
I know. Actually, kind of did. Look, see?
Okay. All right. Well, where's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel?
Yeah.
My YouTube channel is called Portal Panda 101. Go check it out. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell on my channel.
All right. Portal Panda 101.
But can you come?
I promise. I'll come talk to you in a minute.
Alright.
I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, Portal Panda 101. It's his new channel. It only has a couple things on it, but he's got a lot more views than I get, which I don't understand because I'm way more awesome.
Yeah?
But I think I really do have to go because a lot of people are asking me to do a lot of things right now. I've got 3 people looking at me right now like, Dad, honey, what are you gonna do? I really wanted to smoke this last cigarette. Can I do that? Can I do that? Yeah.
Come on, I need to go right now.
Okay. Well.
Are you going?
I'm live. I'm not. What?
Are you going with him?
I'm not supposed. Okay. Well, okay. I really have to go, guys. I will be back tonight at 11:30 p.m. I have to go figure out what's going on. I might have to get dressed really quick and do something. So I will see you guys tonight. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. If you haven't followed already, do that. I love you guys. Keep MMOing.